Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Youngmo Kim from the Semeion. Today I'm going to talk about global megatrends, investment, and global marketing. Before I start my presentation, please let me introduce myself briefly. My name is Youngmo Kim. I worked for Samsung Advanced Institute of Technology for 15 years, and I was leading technology to business department in a company called TechnoValue for 3 years. And from year 2018, I'm leading my own company, the Semeion. Main business of my company is strategy and planning and marketing and investment consulting. As a reference, I'm running my own private equity fund, and I'm consulting investment and marketing, as you can see in the presentation. Please let me talk about the second chapter, investment. Before I explain investment, I want to mention some basic but very important aspects. Many people doesn't know what is the difference between investment and loan. So funding is very important and big problem, but you need to know as a CEO or when you guide people, the difference between investment and loan is very important. Then, what is the difference between loan and investment? First, loan is based on fixed interest. Return of the principal and interest is guaranteed. You don't need to worry about the participation of management. However, investment doesn't guarantee any interest and the principal. And also, the participation of management can be happening. Secondly, in terms of investment, you have to think about several side effects. First one is company value can jump up after unnecessary investment. Secondly, the pre-investors can refuse or withdraw the new investment. Or thirdly, the investors can interfere management excessively. So funding is very important, but wise funding is more important. On the right-hand side, I summarized pro and cons of investment. Pro is there is no limit on credit and mortgage in investment, and also no obligation of payback, which means you don't need to worry about the payback of the invested money. Cons is you need to share the future profit with investors. And also, excessive interference can happen on the management, which can be a negative effect on the business. Then please let me introduce the species of stocks. Firstly, stock sales and new issuances. First one is you can trade existing stocks, or you can issue new stocks. What is existing stock sales? You can directly purchase and sell the existing shares between founders and investors. And the price of sales goes to traders' account. For example, when you sell your existing stocks new investors, then the money go to the CEO's account. Or when you buy shares from investors, the money go to investors' account. In terms of new stock issuance, companies issue new stocks and investors buy them. So the price of sales go to company's account, not the founders or investors' account. There are two kinds of stocks. First one is ordinary, second one is preferred. In terms of ordinary stocks, founders prefer this kind of stocks because there's no burden on founders. Also, founders and investors are at the same position. In terms of preferred stocks, which investors prefer? Investors can require payback when they have payback option. And investors can have various kinds of priorities. Then there are several questions about investments. First one is big investment always good? Second one is high valuation always good? Third, what is the appropriate share of founders? First question, the big investment is not always good. It should appropriate to the size and the stage of the company. If your company value is not very big, then you get the big investment. Then you have to give large amount of share, which will be negative in the near future. And high valuation is not always also good, because when you get high valuation at the early stage, then it will be difficult to get the next investment because the valuation is already too high. So at the next stage, company cannot get higher valuation. Also, the appropriate founder's share is 10 to 20 dilution on each round. And ideally, about or higher than 20% of founder's share is very good when you go to IPO or before M&A. There are two types of investors. First one is financial investors and strategic investors. Financial investors are putting money into your company to make more money. That is only and the biggest reason. They look at market opportunity, product, traction or track record, team, and more importantly, exit potential, because they have to get back money in the near future. They want to make sure their money is being put to use. So they will often take board seats and add value by introducing you to a large network. However, strategic investors have more strategic point of view, synergy, competition, time and cost saving, etc. They might want to use their capital or money in an efficient way, or just to buy your companies. They may be a bit more forgiving and patient when it comes to growth. They are not in rush to maximize a return on their investment like a financial investments. They are not in rush to maximize a return on their investments like a financial investors. When you make a IR deck, you need to know IR, which means investors relations, is different from public relations, which means PR. Because many company founders or CEOs are confused with IR and PR. So I summarized in table what is the difference between IR and PR. First, left column is IR, right column is PR. The purpose of IR is getting investment. And the purpose of PR is report or promote your products or companies. So the target of IR is investors, and the target of PR is CXO, board managements, public and organizations. So this is important. The matter of interest of IR is exit strategy. The investors want to know when, how much I can get money in my bag. So company value and cash flow is very much important. But in PR, performance of business and interest and ROI of business is important. In IR, very detailed information on financial plan and plan on funding should be included. However, in PR, business outcome and plan and company growth is most important factors. The difference on each level in IR, early stage, growing stage, mature stage, the importance is different. In early stage, market size is very important. In growing stage, profitability, performance is important. And in mature stage, global expansion potential is most important. However, in PR, achievement of each stage and vision for next stage is most important. So you need to think about what you can put in the IR deck. So this is the checklist which you have to put on IR deck. I categorized left column market, competitiveness, team, exit, and others. In market, the level of development, size of targeting market, global expansion potential, entrance barrier should be included. This is very important to make sure the target market is big enough and attractive enough. Also, entrance barrier is important because if the entrance barrier is too big, then you cannot enter into the market. Also, after you enter the market, there should be enough entrance barrier. Competitiveness is also important. Destructive, innovative technology do you have? And competitors should be analyzed. The entrance barrier possible when success, which means can you make or build entrance barrier after you enter the market? And do you have roadmap to develop and make your vision as the next business? Team is also important. What kind of philosophy, background, and passion do you have? Or as a founder or as the CXO, this is very important. The vision and core members are very important. The last but most important one is exit possibility. As others, how much necessary to achieve milestones, which means how much money or how much capitals do you need to achieve milestones. Funding from one or multiple investors. Do you want to get funding from one or multiple investors? Or is there any issues on financial statements? I had a case, the investment failed at the last stage because the investors found some problems at the financial statements. So you need to check whether you don't have any problem on financial statements. So I made a circle which CEOs are interested in: entrance barrier, destructive and innovative technologies. However, investors are more interested in team building, exit scenarios, and other aspects. So that is very important to know what aspects investors are interested in. In this slide, I listed up what you have to put in your IR deck based on questions which investors always ask. First, team building. Second, differentiation. Third, market size. Fourth, competitors. Fifth, key customers. Sixth, achievement up to now, what you have achieved up to now. 7, sales plan, how to make money. 8, risk and business. 9, exit strategy. The business 5 to 6 are mostly important, and differentiation, market, profitabilities are also very much important. So it will be very good when you listed up these 8 points and you put contents for each bullet points. So this is the end of investment, and from now on, please let me mention about the global marketing. So in this chapter, I'm going to focus on the marketing strategy or marketing way where you can find in Korea, because in Korea there are various kind of government organizations and government supports, and also companies or organizations. So it will be good you take my presentation as a reference and try to find out the opportunities or chances in your own country. First one is KOTRA. KOTRA is government organization which supports mainly trade from Korea to overseas countries or from overseas countries to Korea. When you visit this website, www.kotra, you can find this first page. In this first page, you can see various projects which KOTRA is supporting. Please let me go down the page. So you see various products. Please excuse this site is only Korean. You can find various projects is running on. So you can choose which projects are suitable for you, then which projects you can apply. Also, KOTRA is running an information site. In this site, you can find news and you can find analysis of various industries, and also you can find information about the countries. In this slide, you can find also information of various countries. In this slide, you see information about Indonesia. You can find basic informations, and when you go down this page, you can find more detailed information of these countries. So like this, almost all countries have informations, and Kotra has listed up the informations. Also, in this page, you can find business and various kind of reports. Also, you can find investors, so which wants to invest monies into Korea. In this page, Kotra has summarized what kind of service they are providing. They have special supports for startups, and also they have service for companies which wants to export products, and also they want to support companies which has good technology but they don't have business yet. So various kind of services you can find in this page. And also in this page, you can test what kind of capability do you have. In other words, do you have enough global capability or capability to go abroad? So when you test this sheet, then you can see whether you have enough capability or not. So, and Kotra is supporting companies to set up overseas branches. In this page, you can find what kind of service they have, which country you can set up your own offices, and what you have to do, and so on. Also, there is another organization which called KITA. Maybe you also have similar organizations in your countries. In KITA, they have also various kind of services. They are supporting companies to export or to import products from overseas countries. And also, they provide various information when you do trade. And also, they have startup branches, which is supporting startups to have meetings or presentations and so on. So these are the most important and services which I frequently use. When you have problems or bottleneck in trading, for example, exporting or importing, you can ask this site. So actually I have some experiences. When I exported some product to Europe, I had problems. So I asked them and solved the problems. This is the startup branch, which is located in the middle of Seoul, Gangnam area. They have huge space. As you can see, you can have a casual meeting, and in the next slide, you see they have very beautiful presentation room. So in this place, people can present IRs, and they can invite companies from overseas countries. So they are actually organizing many events. Actually, these 3 events I joined privately. So first one in the left-hand side is they invited Indonesia to have collaboration or business with Korean startups. The middle one is they invited big buyers from global countries, Amazon and so on. And third one is they invited big major German companies, Bayer and BMW. So they have focused area to collaborate with Korean startups. So in that event I attended, and also I invited startups who wants to have collaboration with these companies. Also, they are organizing various kind of open innovation events. This event was held by a Korean major company, and KITA, also an accelerator. So company is providing the area which they are focusing on. They want to find out new business, especially focusing on in Vietnam. And also they want to find out PropTech and education and vertical e-commerce and so on. So they set up the area of interest and the area of geographics. Then the accelerator invite startups, and they meet together to find out what can they work together. This kind of various open innovation events are happening by supporting KITA. There are another organization which called Chamber of Commerce. I'm sure that you also have your own Chamber of Commerces. So practically all countries have their own chamber of commerces, and mostly they have branches in many countries. For example, Chamber of Commerce of Korea has headquarters in Korea, and they have many branches in overseas countries. This is the main page of Chamber of Commerce country, Korea. And when you go to Global Network tab, you can find what kind of Chamber of Commerce from overseas countries. For example, from Netherlands, as you can see in this slide, and Germany, America. When you go down this page, you can find Chamber of Commerces from many countries. And also, when you go to other page, you can find a full list of Chamber of Commerces. Also, Chamber of Commerce Korea has branches all over the world, as you can see in the slide. There are various events supported by Korean government. Especially Korea government is very eager to support, to make ecosystems so that a company like Samsung, Daewoo, Hyundai is leading as of Korea's business, but Korea government wants to make startup-driven countries. So they are supporting a huge amount of money and also various programs they are organizing. This event, Next Rise, is one of the biggest events for startups. This poster was year 2020, held in Seoul. In this event, the big companies, 84 were invited, and venture capitals and 35 accelerators were invited. And the number of startups you cannot count. So actually, I also attended this event. You see huge events, huge seminars are also held, and there are numbers of booths in which you can present and introduce your company. At that time, I attended as a partner of a small company called ITED. Also, I invited business partners. So, overseas countries' government are also holding startup supporting events. This event was supported by UK government. The name of the event was UK Korean Tech Rocketship Awards. In this event, UK government selected several companies, Korean companies, and they gave a chance to go to UK to have presentation to UK investors and UK market partners so that they can have investment and market potentials. They support flight and the cost of staying in UK. So I attended this event and I made a network. Also, I met startups which attend this event. This event was supported by French government, Korea, France Startup Summit. So the concept of this event was similar to Korea-UK event. Also, maybe you know, Slush is the greatest event which is held in Helsinki, Finland. The thousands of companies, startups are gathering to this event. And to meet these startups, many investors and market partners are also gathering to this event. So in this event, you can present your companies. So you can see many Korean startups attended this event. You see, they can have brainstorming. Also, they can hear what kind of company presentation was held. And also, they can present their own company. The slogan of this event is, "Show your idea where the sun doesn't shine." So I also attended this event with our startup, and I met many companies which are very prominent in Korea. Still, I have networking with these companies. When you try to find and attend this kind of event, you can find other startup companies. From them, you can find ideas and business opportunities. When you attend this event, this kind of companies, Bosch, Amazon, and Johnson & Johnson, Aldi, which is the biggest a German company. All these kind of companies are gathering this event to meet startups from all over the world. So you can meet these companies in 30 minutes, 15 minutes. This is a great chance to meet these kind of world prominent companies or market partners. So this event is very profitable and very important for startups to attend. Also, exhibitions and conferences are good chances to startups. So GlassTech is world's biggest glass-related conference, which is biannually held in Düsseldorf, Germany. I attended this event in year 2019. So as you can see in the picture, you can see various products. This exhibition was held in Las Vegas, USA. I also attended the meeting. I also attended this exhibition and found many interesting products, and also I had a chance to show our products. And lastly, SNS is also very powerful and useful tools. For example, Google, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Actually, I wanted to get in connect with the CEO or management of Caterpillar, the biggest heavy machinery company. So I Googled Caterpillar Ventures and I found out a company, Caterpillar Venture. So I go to LinkedIn, I found out the CEO of Caterpillar Venture, whose name was Michael Young. And I messaged via LinkedIn and he replied. So now I'm sending and getting email with him, and I'm now making small business, which is still going on. So there are specialized companies for cosmetics, sports marketing, PPLs, or there are companies which have specialties in each companies, for example, Germany, Spain, America, Vietnam, or China, Indonesia, India. Also, there are companies which has specialty in tax-free businesses and so on. So I think in your each countries, you should have this kind of specialized companies. So it'll be a good idea to find out these companies then and have collaboration with them. So as a startup, to get funding or to sell product, especially to overseas countries, are very difficult. However, there is no royal road to learning. So no shortcut to the acquirement of any art. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.